Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a genuine ISO 6425 2018 spec diver launched by Grand Seiko in 2021. This is the Grand Seiko Spring Drive Diver SBGA461. Very similar in many regards to the prior SBGA 229. This is a stainless steel spring drive diver that brings the Grand Seiko spring drive diver into compliance with the latest version of the ISO definition of a dive watch. So the watch is large and massive in stainless steel, 44.2 millimeters in diameter. I measure it 14.3 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 51 millimeters from end link to end link. The total distance across the wrist is 53.6 millimeters, and there's a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Two different locks on the clasp means you are double sure about its security when it's on the wrist, and it's heavy. In fact, why don't we take a look and see what Sammy the Scale has to say here, because I have a feeling this is going to be a heavier than average non-precious metal watch. All right, closing in on half a pound. I think 224 would be half a pound, so you get a sense of just how meaty this watch is. Thank you, Sammy. All right, on the wrist, the watch probably doesn't feel as large as it is. It's a little bit thinner, perhaps, than previous versions, although I measure no significant difference between this and the 229. What it is nicely contoured. If you look at the shape of the lugs, even though this is a big watch and it's pushing the limit of what my wrist can sustain, it feels good. It looks fairly flat. All things considered, it should fit underneath most cuffs. Over the top, the lugs are not beyond the edge of my wrist. So I'm going to say if your wrist is my size, 16 centimeters circumference or larger, this is going to wear just fine. There is a titanium equivalent, so if you want something lighter but the same size, that is available. Taking a quick look at the bracelet, you can see it's primarily a 3-link design. It's got a little bit of air de famille to the Rolex Oyster, but the intermediate polished links make it seem more distinct. Taking a look at the profile, it matches to the case, and you can see we have those polished intermediates, polished outer faces, a bit of a rolled bevel on the side. You can see it's a Grand Seiko bracelet, so in this instance, we've got pin sleeves used to assemble the bracelet itself. And so the one thing about pin sleeves I will give Grand Seiko is that you cannot strip out a pin sleeve, but you'll need a block and a punch if you want to size this at home. Also, you can dismount the anchoring point of the bracelet inside the clasp and move the anchoring point by dismounting the spring bar and changing its anchoring. You can also move over, take a quick look at the quick set mechanism for adjusting the size, or if you wish, pulling it out over a dive suit. So we've got the ability, I may as well just demonstrate this because what's theory when practice is possible. You can actually make some changes to the size and the fit while this is buckled on your wrist. You see how it's closed here? And the idea is that you can size this without having to open the clasp and take it off. That helps to prevent accidental droppage of the watch in a marine environment that might be thousands of feet deep. So the ability to do this while the watch is on your wrist gives you an ability that is kind of in common with the much more expensive Rolex Deep Sea. You can see that the clasp itself is not thick gauge steel, but it is intricate and well designed. Rolling around to the case now, Grand Seiko is one of the few luxury brands that still expects you're going to want to do a lot of strap swapping, and so it continues to equip luxury class watches with strap tool holes in the lug profile. Taking a quick look at the case band, beautifully mirrored, polished, flawless. Zaratsu finish, Grand Seiko's tin plate mirror polishing process that takes about 3 years to learn. It means this case is a hand-finished case, and while the machines are ultimately of European origin, the foremost practitioners of this kind of case polish are the people in Japan these days. And Grand Seiko putting that on display right here, a hand-finished watch, not something you'll generally find on equivalently priced Swiss dive watches. Now take a quick look here. You can see how there's a little bit of a dip at the mid-case on both sides of the watch. The lugs ride up the side of the bezel, and that's an old-fashioned watch design trick designed to give more pleasingly full lugs without making the watch thicker. Take a look at the knurling right here. We have a combination of polish and satin, 120 click with the smoothest, most refined glide and detent you'll ever experience. really only a handful play in this class of bezel refinement: Rolex, Grand Seiko, and the late great Calibre de Cartier diver. Now we've got an ADLC amorphous diamond-like carbon bezel insert here. So the idea is that even though it is not made of ceramic, it's diamond-like carbon, so it is just as hard on its face. More importantly, the bezel insert can't fracture and snap off because it's not a frangible material, it's a coating on a metal base. And so that's the idea there. Line up the bezel pearl with the minute hand. We'll take the lights down right now. You can see that the watch has a very bright luminescent dial, a rare case of cathedral-style hands, at least for the hour used on a dive watch as opposed to a vintage pilot's watch. Notice that the counterweight of the seconds hand here is luminescent, so you know that your watch is running in the dark. We've got a broad arrow style minute hand, applique indices, and plenty of legibility. Absolutely no shortage, easy to see. Dive bezel is, to me, a better timing reference than a chronograph, unless you really need the hour register of a chronograph. And remember, not every chronograph has that. I find dive bezel easier to read and cheaper to service down the line. Now, taking a quick look here, you can see that the crystal is slightly recessed below the plane of the bezel, and that's to prevent impact and damage. They thought carefully about this. The dial is matte black to resist glare. It is AR coated on the inside. We have a power reserve indicator. Power reserve is automatic winding. It is 72 hours. The watch features stop seconds and a quick set date. And then if you look very carefully, you can see that that is not ticking, not talking, no start stop. That is the uncanny smooth glide of spring drive. A mechanically driven watch with no batteries, no power capacitors, no motors, and yet it has quartz precision because the mainspring barrel, which again gives 72 hours of power reserve, is geared directly to a unidirectional governing wheel under the caseback. That wheel creates an electrical current as it moves through a magnetic field. That current energizes the quartz oscillator that times the watch and applies the electromagnetic force as a braking element to slow the glide of that governing wheel, which is directly geared on one side to the barrel and to the other side to the hands. So these hands are driven mechanically, not electronically. And you can see that the hour and minute hand are beautifully brushed for anti-glare effect. It's a 30-jewel movement. It's called the 9R65. It is a manufacturer caliber. This watch is made in Japan. 200 meters water resistant, and again, an ISO diver. I'll quickly demonstrate the stop seconds function. So you can set this watch to the second against a reference time. There's a quick set for the date. Easy to do. See, there's a little red shoulder on the stem to try to warn you that your stem is out and your watch is vulnerable. It's a little color-coded reminder to screw that crown down. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details. And one more quick fact. People ask, well, okay, if it's quartz timed, how accurate is it? 15 seconds a month. And remember, a mechanical chronometer is +6 - 4 per 24 hours.